very good evening to everybody. Welcome to another episode of Eclectica, the different news. Well, we have heard a lot about medical writing, regulatory writing, and every day we see new medical devices coming in the market. But we all know that it undergoes through a process of approval, many policy changes are there that we need to know, and many other things like that. So today, my guest is very interesting. I have Dr. Shraddha Chauhan with us, and she will be enlightening us in a way where we will know that what it takes to be a regulatory writer. Just to introduce my guest, and before I bring in her in the studio, well, Dr. Shraddha is a very versatile and aspirational woman, a scientist, and at present she is a clinical evaluation specialist, and she has been the manager incubation at the Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, that is SINE, at IIT Bombay. So let's get in, Dr. Shraddha, and we will have a fantastic time. Hi, Shraddha, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I'm so glad to have you on this show in this episode, and we have a lot of questions to get clarified from you.
Thank you. Thanks for your kind invite. I will be really grateful to share my insights.
Thank you, Shraddha. I think your career itself is a very inspirational pathway, and I have been following you for a long time now. Can you share your journey with us, like how you came into the field of regulatory writing, or if I put it a little bit other way, that initially what was the drive, what drew you to this career path?
I started with regulatory writing for medical devices from, I think, 2021 with honestly very less and basic information about the vast field of medical device regulation. Basically, in my previous role as a healthcare startup manager, it provided me insight about one of the main challenges faced by the healthcare startups is regulatory approval of their novel or innovative products which they want to sell into the market. During that time, I have gathered the fair understanding of the device certification process. That what are the different pathways, and then how to acquire the certification so that you can launch your product into the market. I think after a year into the COVID, I got this opportunity to work remotely in this field. And I believe I took a bold step to experiment because I was totally into different segment and working with the startups. I was into like fund management, progress monitoring of the startups, grant proposal writing, that sort of stuff. And then finally, I came into the field of clinical evaluation. So initially in the role, since it was very new to me, I focused on to learning the concepts and processes for clinical evaluation of medical devices. I remember spending few hours almost every weekend going through the knowledge sessions at my organization. Like, we have access to vast repository of learning sessions which are actually developed by the fellow colleagues. It helped me to get understanding of my work and the things that I need to quickly learn, get myself comfortable with the new job requirements that I am going to pursue. Initially, those learning sessions helped me quite well. Then going forward to get further understanding, I also took up several external courses which are like related to clinical research, then EU medical device regulation, quality management systems. This all happened, I think, at least for a first year. I was totally into to know about the medical device regulation as well as the the clinical research. So I totally devoted myself the 1 year to get the as much knowledge as possible in this domain. Further, I believe I had the necessary skills through my research experience at the time of my doctoral at IIT Bombay. We have acquired enough skills, perform the literature searches, like do the systematic literature review of the literature, then data analysis, then how to edit the lengthy documents, like documents which are like about 100 pages or 200 pages. So how you will edit and present the information in a good flow so that it looks like a story. So basically, those things were there inherently. I need to apply these skills and use these skills for the creation of regulatory documents, which is quite different from our research publications in a way, but the skills were actually helpful that we generally acquire during our post graduation or the our doctoral pursuits. That's how I landed into this field of regulatory affairs, like
Fantastic.
specifically clinical evaluation.
First of all, hats off to you, because after such a didactic career, as a incubation manager, like working with startups, you had that tenacity to again go back and become a student. I mean, it's kind of like you have to learn. You had learned many new things, which I think it takes it takes a lot of guts and lot of patience and perseverance. So hats off to you for that. Well, Shraddha, I have one question which is running in my mind. Like, your just seeing your present designation, and you also told that you have acquired more knowledge in terms of understanding and doing clinical evaluation. So the terms or the job roles that we are aware of when it comes to regulatory writing, like for example regulatory writer or senior regulatory writer. So is there a difference between a job role which says senior regulatory writer and specifically becoming a clinical evaluation specialist?
Yeah, so if we talk about the regulatory writing entails the preparing necessary documents, regulatory documents for a particular healthcare product, for which a certification or approval is required from the regulatory body. So whether that product is a drug, it's a therapy, or it's a medical device, a manufacturer has to provide sufficient evidence to the authority that their product is safe to use and it performs its function well.
Right.
And I can say that regulatory writer can help the manufacturer to prepare these documents. However, there are different types of documents. There are some documents which are like very simple, where you need to just convey the information from your side, like manufacturer side, to the notified body. However, there are other set of documents which requires the critical analysis of the clinical data. Clinical data prevalent in the one domain, like in terms of clinical literature, like clinical studies, clinical trial, clinical investigations. A writer or a clinical evaluator has to evaluate this data. First, he or she has to acquire this data, which should be like relevant to the device that they are actually working on and perform the evaluation of. So first step is to like perform the evaluation, and to perform the evaluation they need to get the literature first, and how to perform this evaluation in an objective and unbiased manner, so that you can actually give the fair idea to the authority that look, this is the safety profile and this is the performance profile of the device that they are working on. So that is the job of clinical evaluator.
Hmm.
So,
So
and
it is like more specific. It is more going in depth and more specific, and probably certain more skills need to be added in our skill set to become and work as a clinical evaluation specialist. Am I correct?
certainly, yeah, certainly. So a person can begin with to be a regulatory writer, but gradually to get the more, as and when he or she gets more understanding of the domain, and if he wants to explore further, then they can always learn this clinical evaluation, which is
Right.
a very exciting and very interesting process itself.
And they have
So
to study on weekends, like you did. Yeah, yeah. So Shraddha, like many of our audience, they are kind of aspiring people who want to get into this career, or they have heard here and there. So, uh, for those who are not very familiar with the role, can you provide an overview of what regulatory writing entails, and particularly what is the importance of this field? I mean, this career in pharmaceutical or healthcare industries.
as we discussed that for any product, any healthcare product to be in the market, so that manufacturer can deploy that product and expand their business to so and so geography. First, manufacturer has to get the certification, and that certification is actually an indication that the particular product is safe for the use, as well as it performs its intended task, right? How you are, I mean, how the regulatory writer is coming into the picture is that there is a manufacturer, very big manufacturer, and then they have a let's say 500 products of different, I mean, the very vast portfolio of products they have, and they want to expand their business to let's say European Union. So they want to get themselves into the European market. So first they have to acquire the CE marking to sell their product into the EU region. For CE marking, manufacturer has to comply with the medical device regulation, which is the latest regulation EU legislation has passed. As a part of that regulatory requirement, manufacturer has to create the technical documentation of their product.
Okay.
So particularly if we talk about the medical device, so depending on the risk class of the device, like how risky the product is, like whether it is very less or very low risk profile, like something which is not going to impact highly adversely to the patient, and there is a like another class, like class 3 product, where it is highly we can say that it can severely damage, it can create a damage to the patient. So
Okay.
depending on the risk class, there is a requirement that a manufacturer has to fulfill, which are called the general safety and performance requirements. And to comply with this requirement, manufacturer has to perform the clinical evaluation of their product regularly. It's not a one time process, it requires the regular evaluation of their product. So at that time the regulatory writer comes into the picture, and a writer, considering the the requirement of creating such documents, person from like life science background, or if we go with the clinicians, or if we talk about the engineers, then definitely biomedical engineers, and persons of having graduation in biotechnology, biomolecular engineering. So for that matter, engineers are also like more or less, if they have alignment towards basically getting into the research, and the thing is happening, how it is happening, and zeal to go deeper into the knowledge of that particular product or the procedures that are surrounding that product. So he or she can get into this domain. They can create these documents, and in a way help the manufacturer to obtain the CE marking or a particular certification, and so that the manufacturer can sell their product into the particular geography.
Yeah. So thank you, Shraddha, for answering that at length. The next thing that comes is like, people definitely want to know that what do you think would be the key skills, or what kind of skills are required to become successful in this field? Any role in the field of regulatory writing? If you can share some of your insights, it would be really helpful.
So uh, yeah, so like through my, I think I have completed my recently I have completed 3 years at Tata Elxsi, and I have come across very diverse people in my team. That people are some are like clinicians, some are graduates, recent graduates from engineering graduates. Either they are a mechanical engineer or they are biomedical engineer.
Okay.
Also, people from pharmaceutical background. If we like consider their educational background, then certainly the the requirement to flourish in this profile of clinical evaluation or a regulatory writer, it differs. It differs based on what you know already, and how you want to go further, how passionate you are to go further, how quickly, and how you are aligning yourself so that you can learn better as soon as possible. So if we talk about skills, person has to have a thorough understanding of what they are doing and what is required to
Right.
be done in a
Mhm.
particular scenario. Let's say there is a device, medical device. You are starting to work on that device file. So first of all, you need to acquire a thorough understanding of the device itself, that how it works, in which procedures it is being used, on which kind of patients, like pediatric patient, adult patients, or what are the shortcomings, like inherent side effects or the risk of the devices. Because all the devices, like more or less, if not like highly risky, they have some inherent risk in place. So you need
Absolutely.
to understand that whether the risk is due to the procedure or it is due to the usage of the device. So basically, once a person starts to work on any device, then he or she has to first cultivate the thorough understanding of the device and the procedures, the clinical procedures. So for example, let's say I'm starting to work on a sutures. So I need to first understand, okay, what is the material of the suture, in which procedure, whether it is used during laparoscopy or any specific procedure in which it is being used, what are the side effects of these kind of sutures, and what are the competitors product. All these things are very very necessary. Once a person cultivates this understanding, then the next comes up is like how you are acquiring the relevant clinical literature which is prevalent already there in the domain, help of using different databases. So you should be aware of that, how to acquire the clinical literature which is very relevant for your products, as well as how to use the different databases. Like there are different databases like PubMed is there, Embase is there, Medline, Cochrane. These are all are there. So you need to be aware that, okay, how to use these databases. And
Mhm.
once you acquire the the literature, and then let's say you have like downloaded or you have information about 1,000 articles. So
Correct.
now you need to deduce the useful articles or the useful studies from this 100 or like let's say 1,000 articles,
Mhm.
and which process or which strategy you are taking up. That
Correct.
is also like crucial. So person needs to be like basically interested into doing this thing, doing this exercise. And it's not that it's not possible to learn. You can learn any day. It's just that depending on your interest and your excitement, you
Mhm.
will learn it like sooner or later if you are into this field. The another thing is that, so I told about that depending on the background of the person.
Mhm.
If a person is clinician, then he or she might not be aware of the engineering aspect of the device.
Yes. Right.
Okay, what are the different functions, or how the device is working in this manner only, why not
Correct.
other manner, or
Mhm.
things like that. And a person who is from the engineering background or from the life science background, they might not be aware of the clinical part of the entire scene, that okay, how this particular procedure is being performed, what are the limitations of this procedure. So in that scenario, the clinicians are better placed to understand the clinical aspect of the entire device and the procedures related to it. But more or less, like I have not seen a person who knows everything from the beginning. They have to like if you know 50%, so you need to quickly know the rest 50%, so
Right.
that you can complete the task which is at hand. If we talk about the skills and tools which are like very useful, if you are so if you know how to handle or how to edit the lengthy documents, which is
Mhm.
also one of the very highly crucial skill that I observe, that
Okay.
how quickly you are able to format the entire document in an automated manner if possible, so that you cannot get overwhelmed. Because if a document is like let's say 200 pages, and then you don't know that okay in which section what information is there or how to format. It helps to know these things prior. So people who are like trying to or aspiring to get into this field, I suggest that they should be knowing that okay, what are the how to effectively use the softwares like Microsoft Word or
Hmm.
Excel's, for that matter, as well as if they know how to form the literature search strings so that they
Hmm.
can get the relevant literature on the different databases.
Correct.
These things are like very crucial. From there they can start, and then they can further go on.
Thank you, Shraddha, for giving such a clarity on, I think clarity on this aspect of where somebody can start with, because I think starting a new in a new area is always a challenge. Another question which is dominantly hovering on my mind as you were speaking, as you said that when a company wants, they might want to expand their business, they want to go from a different region to another region. So there are a lot of policies, regulations that are getting changed, and even with time the regulations keep changing. So how does a regulatory writer in a specific area, they keep themselves, I mean, how to keep ourselves up to date when we are working in this field? Is it very overwhelming, or how is it?
If we see from outside, like let's say I'm not currently into, let's say, I don't know anything about medical writing or regulatory writing, then of
Mm-hmm.
course it feels very overwhelming, and then sometimes you feel that okay, that you have zero idea about anything. So from where to start? The
Correct.
first question is, and for anything, I believe if you know the fundamentals, then you can always build up a nice, you can create a nice structure onto it. So if we talk about knowing the fundamentals, so
Hmm.
it is always better to first go through the documents which are like very basic documents, something like medical device regulation, which is there for the EU region. So you go through that and try to understand that okay, what it says and what it requires. Again, it is not easy to remember and recall all of these things every time, but as and when you use it regularly, then you will understand that okay, what it means. So
Right.
first you need to get a hang of these basic documents, and then for acquiring the updated knowledge, like let's say any guideline has come up new or any guidance
Hmm.
document has come up new by EU legislation or any other regulatory bodies, so
Hmm.
you will always you have such avenues present. Like there are different CROs are there are different notified bodies. Time to time they also publish the white papers and create a nice guidance sessions which you can attend, so that
Mhm.
you get further understanding that okay, now this is the new change which has come up in this domain, so you need to take care of that.
Thank you, Shraddha, for that wonderful answer. Well, what I was thinking, like, do you have any information of any resources or networking opportunities, or any career strategies, if you can recommend to somebody who is starting in this area? So it will be very nice to when it comes from an experienced person like
Like
you.
a person who is starting or like want to get into the field of regulatory writing, first of all it is necessary to understand that why we are doing this. Okay, so why actually there is a need of a regulatory writer, right?
Correct.
To understand that why, person first has to also understand that what actually this entire field is. Basic understanding is okay, and with that basic understanding, like let's say we are doing this to get the certification for the device, whether it is either a new device and a person or manufacturer wants to sell into the market particular geography. So different geography has a different regulation also, but there are some parameters which are like common to all the geographies. So
Okay.
like parameters like device should be safe, as well as it need to perform as you are claiming that okay, this device will perform these functions. So it should be performing it with so and so reproducibility or repeatability that you are claiming actually. So you need to show it with the evidence, clinical evidence. So now how you are going to learn all of these things. So first of all, it is better to learn the basics, that as we discussed, that it is good that you get to know about the particular geography's regulation. Let's say
Correct.
you want to go with the CE marking process, or even you want to go with the device approval process that is there in India, which is taken care by CDSCO.
Yes.
So recently, CDSCO has created a nice document which is applicable for the medical devices. So regularly, visiting such websites, like for CDSCO, they have a Sugam website. So you can get to know all this detail and all the nitty gritty. Is there any changes that has come up recently? All these things you can learn by periodically visiting these websites. So for people who are aspiring for, like, let's say FDA certification, so FDA website itself it is a nice resource for learning the entire process of getting a FDA approval for a medical device or any drug or drug plus device combination. So they have very good resources there on their website. On top of that, you have certain CROs which are like global CROs. If you follow follow their updates either
Correct.
on LinkedIn or from their website, similarly you can also get updated knowledge that okay, what actually is happening in this area of regulation. To me, like when I begin at that time, first I focused on to learning that what is this medical device regulation, which is very specific for the EU region, because currently I work for the EU region. So I
Right.
create documents which are related to the clinical evaluation of medical devices or the CE marking. So I get to know thorough understanding of the medical device regulation for the EU region. Also, there are certain guidance documents which are on top of this medical device regulation document. Be aware of that. So all this information is like available on internet. It's just that you need to start learning, start devoting your time and focus learning these things. If you start from today, you just take a decide for yourself that okay, every week I want to learn this much of things, and you just start small, and then gradually you will achieve like undoable target, I can say that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's what I understood from whatever you shared. First of all, this field is very interdisciplinary. So if somebody wants to spread their wings, sky is the limit. First thing. Second thing, as you say, that the resources, it is very much available. It's on the person how we are trying to motivate ourselves and gather as much knowledge and upskill ourselves quickly so that we can get into the market or get into a specific industry. So I think it's wonderful, information that you share, Shraddha, about these things. We are coming to the concluding part of this conversation. I think the time just flew away. It was so interesting to learn from you. So before I let you go, I would definitely ask you one question: that what advice would you offer to aspiring regulatory writers looking to establish themselves in the industry? I know that you have shared a lot of valuable information and key things that anybody can pick up and they start their journey, but still, your advice or your message will be fantastic.
The first thing is that even it happened with me also. So when I decided to get into the field of this clinical evaluation, I didn't have a 100% understanding of the field itself. But I decided that okay, I need to learn since I want to now be into this field. So decide for yourself, and this decision you would be able to take only if you know yourself. So first, it is advisable to do your own SWOT analysis, your strength, your weakness, the opportunities and threats. like know yourself better first. After knowing, if you are seeing that okay, your strengths are to read, you like to read, you like to come across different devices all the time, you have a capability to handle it like for a longer period of time. And then, like, let's say you have decided that okay, now I want to get into this field. You need to start somewhere, and once you start, then give yourself maybe weekly targets, that okay, along with my job deliverables, I want to achieve this thing, and I want to learn about these things. Now, whether you are doing it with using free course materials which are available on internet, or you are taking up any paid courses or anything. However, I have seen that there are not much not many courses, formal courses available to
Exactly.
the like regulatory writers. It seems that even without that also it is doable. I mean, you can do it. You need to start from somewhere. Like, let's say you are successful in getting an opportunity to work at one of the organization. Then early in your career, or early on in your job profile, don't look for the comfort. Don't restrict yourself that okay, I want to work between just 10 to 6 or 9 to 5. Don't do that, because these are the years where you can invest more of you into quickly getting to know about this field. Like, let's say after 1 or 2 year, you are seeing that okay, you are not progressing, you are not going anywhere, then please don't be there. You are like, you are not a tree, you can move around, right? You can select something better for yourself. So it is you like, it is also necessary that be open to give yourself chances, but timely chances, like time dependent chances you need to give. But whenever you are trying things, try it with 100% effort, so that you are very sure that okay, I have put my efforts. Now with my efforts, if I am learning, if I am growing, then it is well and good. If you are not, and if you are not liking the process also, then it is better to switch and look for some other profiles. That is my advice. Like, I mean, there is no need to think that okay, there is not formal courses are available. Or for people who want to do, everything is available in this universe itself. So yeah, I mean, just you need to decide at one point of time that what you want to do, and till when you want to do it, and at what length you can go for this.
Thank
Yes.
you, Shraddha. We all understood that a statement, the advice comes from a very, very strong and powerful woman, and we are listening from her. We learned from her today, and thank you so much, because I think not only the insights you shared, the practical things, the way a person has to start at the step in this field, or probably you said some very green advice, I should say, because this is something which is applicable in any field. So if you want, then everything is available. Fantastic. I think that I will make it, I will steal that tagline from your advice. Fantastic. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Shraddha. I think we will meet again, and thank you again for your time. Thank you everybody for watching this video, and I hope that you have learned a lot. And we will have all the details of Shraddha in the description of this video. So you can check out, you can connect with Shraddha on LinkedIn, and anything. I mean, regulatory writing, if you're looking into this aspect in this career. So as Shraddha said, that sky is your limit. So thank you, Shraddha. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you all.